chemistry. I go by the name of Miles. Over there is
Marcel Steele.
Okay.
Still me, baby.
No, hey, nice jacket, man.
Thank you. I feel like a black Republican with the
Yeah, with the floral shirt.
you know that throws it off. Am I Republican? Am I liberal? Who knows? Anyway, maybe
enough.
I'm in the middle.
Fair enough.
Today's special guest is Shawnee.
It's Shawnee.
Yep, that's me.
It's Shawnee. It's Shawnee.
You got some lunks on you, kid.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. That's cool.
Top tier.
It's like it's not sexual, but I feel like it's.
What do you
it's
want?
like,
I don't remember that. What do you think I was referencing? Like some secret?
Even
Like
I didn't catch that off of that.
That's
Goodness.
it doesn't sound sexual, but it's like I don't know how.
I was like referencing like some secret music career you had or something. Not anything sexual at all.
But ain't no secret.
Huh?
My boy be putting them hits out.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. Let's talk about it. All right, so Shawnee DeShon Green is her legal name, but I like to call her Shawnee. She is an actress and newfound filmmaker out here in Atlanta. She just produced and co-wrote her first short film, which is the name
At All Costs.
Yes, my darling. Please talk to us about At All Costs. Why in the hell did you decide to write it?
Oh my goodness. So At All Costs is a project that I got to co-produce and co-write with two of my fellow creatives, Kiana Camille and Jamal Scott.
Shout out to them.
Yes, shout out to them. Love you both. I was actually brought onto the project. So there was an idea by Jamal Scott, and he brought me and Kiana in, and me and Kiana were able to help form a story, and one that I'm super proud of. So At All Cost is a short film that kind of touches on like how politics affect us all. So there are like hints of police brutality in there. We targeted Roe versus Wade because that was something that made specifically me and Kiana as women, a part of the project, very uncomfortable at the time. But we were able to take it into a classroom space and bring up a conversation that we think is very relevant and authentic to the world that we live in, and we try to bring all the views in, and I think that that's what I'm most proud of with this project.
Yeah, so let's start from, so why was the project brought to you? Like, have you written before?
So I haven't written for anyone to know about. I am kind of secretive with that, so I'm super excited. I just think that I wasn't very secure in that space. As an actor, everybody knew me as an actor, so that's what I was doing. I didn't know that I was going to be able to enter into that space, kind of imposter syndrome. But this was like the most affirming experience for me. Now I feel like I'm confident enough to make more and to produce more.
So because I was at the premiere, so Jamal said that he came to you, right?
Yes.
So did he know that you dabbled in writing?
Yeah, so that came from our creative relationship. We all kind of used to spend every Thursday together doing improv, and at one point we were all like, we want to make art together. We want to create art together. And we were like, well, who wants to do it? Like, who's, got the balls to write, or who's got the balls to actually make it happen? And we were like, we do. Did it ever metabolize at the time? No. Time went on, but he came back and was like, let's do it. And I was super grateful, because had he not done that, I don't even know that I would be able to say that in 2023 I have a short film that is co-written and produced and acted in by me.
Absolutely, man. Which, hey, just bravo. Look, I was at the premiere. I was able to see the film, and I say this with nothing but honesty. It really was a good film. Like, it truly, actually, I thought it was very well written. I thought it was very well casted, and I thought it was very well shot. And that, when I say, you're here with me.
For you to say that?
I was like, it must have been pretty good.
What? Mama, I made it. What?
Straight up, you're here with me in Atlanta. It's very hard to find stuff like that in Atlanta. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever I go to a premiere in Atlanta, I'm going for support. I'm not going to expect.
Hey man, it's too much bad quality control.
Not even your friends.
Maybe.
Sometimes you have to be there to be the one voice in the crowd to cheer on your friend.
I feel you, and I appreciate support.
I understand
like that,
but so many people are like him. You know how many people I tried to actually get to come to that premiere? Like, I told so many people about it, and all of them you know, it's depressing. So whatever. We don't talk about that. But
you're right. It's a Atlanta thing.
Yes, but I am one of those people like it. Even if I think I'm not gonna like it or I'm not gonna have a good time, I'm still gonna come to, you know, try to show my face and support. So the fact that I was just coming to support, expecting to see some bullshit, and saw like an actual good product, I was so proud. I was really in that crowd.
You know me. So I will cry. I'm crying on the way home, though.
Let it out. Let me make good content.
Of you to be.
You want to use my tears for the podcast? They can't even. Well, they can see it. You guys have a visual, but golly.
Okay. Zoom in. That'd be good.
Cut in.
Okay,
close
hold on.
For the GIF.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, I think you should be actually really, really proud of the project that y'all put out. So let's talk about the actual production process. So it's called Carpool Productions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so with that, because that's something I can relate to as well. I've been lifting for 6 years. Good Lord. You know.
I'm sure at this point you got the little light up thing on your desk.
Nah, I specifically don't put it on there because it's so depressing.
I got one. And I only started in January and they sent me one. I was like, thank you, Uber.
Yeah, I don't want to put it up there.
For those of us that don't, is that like the sign that you made it as a...
I think so.
Well, sure. It's just, if I put it up there, me personally, I just feel like a loser. Like, I feel like
a winner. I feel like there's people riding around with a tag.
Light bulb on my damn dash.
But there's people riding around with a tag, and then there's you with an illuminated sign that says, I drive Lyft. What are you talking about?
Bro.
It says, I'm my own boss. What are you talking about?
It says, I'm a loser. That's just me personally. That's like
it's perspective.
It's perspective. Like, yeah, you know, it's like,
I would feel like this is official. You know, I'm trying to get my Uber, and he come up with the joint, the light up joint. He ain't just got no little sticker in the front of his car. He's like, man, I'm jumping that.
That's 5 stars off rip. If I get in a car and if you have the light up thing, I'm giving you 5 stars. You know why? Because I know that you've done enough rides to get that, and that means a lot to me.
I agree. From the customer
perspective. No, Miles, you don't. You already said you don't care about the light.
From the customer side, I agree.
To all the Lyft drivers who do not yet have the light and are aspiring to get the light, please know that there are people who have already acquired it and don't even appreciate it.
That's crazy.
Straight up. Okay, so it's called Carpool Productions because all of the people involved, Kiana and Jamal, you guys all do carpool. Nice. So was that specifically the only way that y'all got the budget to make this film?
It was the only way we acquired the budget for the film.
What was the budget?
So originally our budget, we thought big. We wanted $15,000. We were trying to enter for some grants. Well, no, it's not big, but that's what we thought bigger than what we got.
Hey,
let me speak. Let me speak in context.
Yeah.
Let me speak in context, right? So we wanted $15,000. We were trying to enter for some grants. A lot of those we didn't get right away. So we were like, we want to make this now because we were racing against deadlines. We were like, we have to figure it out. Mm-hmm. We were looking for funding from investors. Things of that weren't coming through. So we decided we were going to drive. So we were all of us were driving Uber, and we were like, what do we need? Like, what are the things that we need to get the first day? So we were like, okay, we need this prop, we need this costume, we need this car present, we need to be able to pay the DP, we need to be able to pay the
Did
sound.
he not DP it?
He did DP it, but we still want to keep all those things in mind. So we were keeping all those things in mind, and we were like, okay, with all of these things in mind, and we had a second cam op, we were like, we need to make X, Y, Z. We got to the point where we were able to make that money, and we were like, okay, now we have another shoot day. How do we get that? And we needed to pay for that location because we shot on a college campus, and we were able to talk him down, but we still had to pay their rate. So considering that as well, we had to hustle for the money, like literally up until the day of both shoots.
How far apart were the shoot days? Oh, okay.
So we shot one Sunday, and then we shot the following Sunday. So 2 Sundays in January, and a couple of pickup. Yeah, this year, and a couple of pickup days, and that was it.
Wow, that's even more impressive. The fact that y'all shot it this year, and because I mean, once again, you're here in Atlanta, you know a lot of shit. People will shoot in 2020 and be like, "Hey, we're almost done. It's 2023. You know, just give us like a couple more days, and then it's 2025, and it comes out." So the fact that y'all were able to, I don't hear that often. That's really the fact good. Of that's a very quick turnaround.
Exactly. I'm excited we completed it because, like you guys were talking about, you don't always get the completed project, and sometimes people ask you to do things, and then they don't actually turn out to be anything at all. So the fact that we were able to not just like come up with an idea and come up with a story or come up with a script, even we were able to actually shoot it, meant a lot to me, because I'm like, there's been a ton of people that were like, let's do this, let's do that, and then it would be like, so what happens to that project we're working on?
All right. With each step that y'all have taken, y'all like become a part of a smaller community, because you had the idea, a bunch of people have ideas. You wrote the script, a bunch of people want to write a script. You actually put it into production, a bunch of people want to put it into production. You actually finished it post-production. A bunch of people got shit still not, freaking edited and whatnot. You had a whole premiere for it. Like people, like, so each step y'all took, you just became a part of a smaller community that I myself is a part of, gold member.
Not a gold member.
There he is.
So if there was a light that you could put in your dashboard for that, would you use that one?
Absolutely. Because that's something I'm proud of. Okay.
How are you not a loser when you have that one?
Because this is my career. What are you talking about? Lyft is not my career. Jeez, I'm gonna be a fucking all-time Lyft driver. Like, put me on the all-star. Like, no.
But is they're not funding that?
Sure.
Then it needs to be appreciated.
I like your attitude.
Henceforth and forevermore, you will be using that light.
I will throw that light.
I'm gonna come over to this area. I'm gonna request a Lyft ride, and if you pull up without a light,
cancel the ride.
No light.
1 star. And I'm like,
Wow.
You have to learn to put everything you got into everything you do. You should write that down.
I should write that down.
that's a quote.
I got it from somebody.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Not from Miles, but you should.
Not for me. But so, what about you? Do you think how is that working for you?
It's even more impressive.
Crazy.
That's
so wild.
I'm blocking the hate out. You know what I mean? That's what we got to do.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do it.
Get that out of here. Anyway,
We don't have to look over there.
We don't. He don't even put lights on his cars.
You know what I'm saying? We can't even see him. He's in the dark.
He ain't even proud of what he do.
You know what I'm saying?
This guy right here. How's he? Like anyway.
Ridiculous.
We giving it too much energy already.
Yeah, stop. Let's do it.
So it's even more impressive. I'm sorry. Focus. Chill out. Why you still laughing? Chill out, man. Hey.
Get it together.
Man, focus, man. Do your thing. Come on, buddy. What was the quote? Take whatever you had to do with Duke. Come on.
That wasn't.
It's not even in the slightest. Although it did sound something like that. What was it?
Something along those lines. I think.
Doing
Take what
something.
you have. This nigga don't even.
It's more impressive that you on a team. Like I'm becoming an old man. I just got zero faith in humanity anymore. Sometimes, not all the time, but man, people they just let you down. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I've just learned sometimes you got to do things on your own. But it's impressive that you worked on a team and all y'all. You said it was 3 of you all.
Absolutely.
And you all were able to come together and put something together.
And that's the bottom line. I think that's probably my favorite thing about it is because, like I said before, sometimes people approach you with stuff and it's just like, okay, let's do this. And then you start working with them and they're like, no, actually, I think I got it.
Were there any struggles?
Oh, absolutely.
Outside of the financing, of course.
Absolutely. I think as human beings, it's impossible to think that you're going to agree on everything. And during during the writing process, we each had our own ideas of how we wanted the story to come to a resolve. And we were able to compromise, but like the bottom line is like, especially when someone approaches you with their idea, it's their idea and they have to like trust you. It's like dropping your kid off at someone's house. It's like, here's my kid, take care of my kid, but like don't beat my kid.
Yeah.
Don't yell at my kid. Like there's rules to how you handle people's stuff. So I think the fact that we were able to all be like mature and sensitive about each other's feelings and about each other's thoughts is why we were able to work.
I appreciate you saying that because myself, I've had a co-writing situation didn't.
This is not
Tell us
too
about
good.
I'm just saying.
I didn't want to bring up any past trauma.
Oh my.
Too late.
I'm just relating to your situation in the
sir.
sense that I've co-written before and it didn't, necessarily work out because we all didn't have that mindset. So for your first time actually writing something and having 3 co-writers, on this project, and it's still. I can only assume everybody's friends, like everybody's cool.
Yeah, I think you have to think it's not about you, right? It's about the project. So the bottom line is...
Let's let that sink in.
Seriously, let's let that sink in.
It's not about you.
It's about the project.
It's about the project.
This is when like the rainbow comes over my head because I'm so clever. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's very real. It's very real because the more you make it about yourself, then it becomes like impossible for you guys to come to an agreement on anything. Like you don't make any edits on my part. That's not fair. Like, there's two other people who have an opinion.
Who have thoughts.
And who would be a part of your audience. And if they don't like it, then you have to trust that, you know, their feelings matter.
Let's let that sink in again. Because these motherfuckers don't understand.
I'm just saying.
That it's the project over everything. It's not
Absolutely.
specifically to one person and one person's ideas. It's about what does it take to get the actual project done. Okay, so At All Costs has premiered and whatnot. So did y'all start at Indiegogo after the project was done?
Yes, we did. So the reason for doing so is because we did make the project SAG. So there are financial situations that we have to take care of because it's a SAG project. And there are contracts luring. What do you mean?
Why did you make it a SAG project?
Oh, we had SAG actors. So having SAG actors, we didn't want to, you know, do anything that was going to mess up their contract or their livelihood. So we had to make sure we didn't ask them to join a non-union project, and they were union.
So is it because you specifically wanted to use SAG actors, or did you?
Absolutely.
How was the casting process with that?
So the casting process started with some people who were already in mind for roles. So like Mac Wells was already in mind.
One of the best out here, please.
Yeah, I mean he pretty much was like the light that like the reason why we were like, okay, let's do this. Because he's SAG, so we had to make sure that we took care of him because he was like a primary role in the film. And then everyone else, there were some people that we kind of handpicked that we each kind of knew that like filled the classroom or that filled the first portion of the film, but then everybody else we actually were able to cast through Actors Access. So I thought that was a pretty cool experience because I worked on 2 other projects where one I directed where we were able to cast through Actors Access, and the other one I was in and it was casted through Actors Access. And just thinking about like people had to click on our project and decide that they wanted to audition for it, and I'm like, who's gonna do that? We had like 100+ people on there, and I'm just like, it's a little thing, it's not a big thing, but it's like, wow, people want to be a part of our project based on the description that we gave. That's pretty dope. And then like even after giving the sides, they had to agree as to whether or not they wanted to like take on these roles that were kind of like tricky. Like we've got people playing racist cops, we've got people with like very taboo worldviews, so it's like you can decide whether or not you want to say these things, but you know, thank you for thinking of the greater good of the project and wanting to be a part of it. So
that is something I would say about the project. Like the classroom scene, it had I don't know like 10 people in it, but the way it was written, it was very evenly distributed. Like nobody was there just as, you know, an extra, like in the class or whatnot. Like everybody actually had everybody had a point, you know, to say. Like once again, that's one of the reasons why I think it was well written. It was that scene where I was like, okay, this is actually a well written project because of the pacing of it and the perspectives in it and how balanced it was. Like it was no like just, you know, 10 people in the class and then 2 people are the only ones like talking
everything.
And then one person just comes out of nowhere and maybe says something. Like it was very, and that's something that's hard. Like as, you know, somebody who does write, like that's something that's actually really hard to do, to have those many characters. And then once again, thinking as a filmmaker, all the fucking coverage that y'all got.
That's what I'm thinking about right now.
It was a long day.
Coverage, like
it was a long day. No, it wasn't that bad, but we were able to. I mean, we had a game plan, and then with like Jay being the DP, he knew like, okay, we need to get the wide. Like we worked from big to small, and then we were able to like punch in on everybody.
It was
which
just
helped.
A lot of smalls.
It was a lot of smalls. So that was tricky, but we were able to like, you know, be supportive of each actor. Like we knew that we weren't on screen, but let's like still kind of build up that the momentum and as far as the conversation was going, let's still build up that energy so they have a reason to fire back. We were all really supportive of each person as they were doing their close-up, so that helped as well. But that is not like an uncommon conversation that I haven't had in college. Like I went to a PWI, so I knew how important it was going to be to have like this very well-balanced conversation where there are people who are saying things that, like I said, are taboo, but it's the way they feel. It's the way they feel.
Okay, for those of us that don't know, what's the difference between working on a project that's like got SAG actors? Like, what'd you have to adjust or change to do?
The primary thing was the paperwork. So before we actually were able to shoot, we had to get it approved through SAG. So that took like a couple of weeks of like back and forth with our SAG rep.
What'd you have to get approved?
Getting the project like named SAG. So basically we submit it to them, the script, we submit to them who the producers are on the project, any breakdowns they ask for budgets, they ask for tentative cast list, because you might not have your cast yet, but they just want to know who it is. And then of course you follow up with a final cast list. They want to know a working budget, a working schedule, so they know how long you'll be shooting, and whether or not they can get a rep out to the set, things like that. With COVID going on, they want to know that you're going to handle responsibilities in terms of like COVID obligations and things like that. So it was a lot of like little moving pieces, and I got like a lot of experience as a second AD, not on purpose, but because I needed to make sure that this stuff got done and got submitted. So that was it. And then as soon as you finish, you just got to follow up with everything so that they, you know, like they know when your final date is based on the schedule you send, and you just have to follow up with all that paperwork. So it is an extra step that you don't usually do in an indie project. If you're just working with, you know, friends, you just kind of, you know, no one's doing sign-in sheets, no one's signing out, no one's filling out contracts. We might be filling out contracts in terms of like non-disclosures or in terms of like our likeness and things like that, but we're not like signing paperwork that we know is going to a SAG office for approval. So like you're having to give socials and stuff like that, and you have to trust these people, you know what I'm saying? So there's like a lot of things that went into it in that aspect that made me feel like, wow, you really have to trust the process. You really have to trust the process.
And the process is a lot.
That sounds pretty cool. Wow.
It was pretty cool. I was like,
that's pretty impressive.
Like I said, I feel super affirmed because it's like, wow, I can do this again. I just have to do the same thing I did the first time.
There you go.
It's
you
like
just
when
have
you
to
ride a
fucking
bike for the first time. It's like, oh, I did it. I just have to do it again.
So
I
what's
actually
next?
fell the second time I rode my
What's
bike.
next? More work, more projects. There's more ideas, stuff that I had that I was hiding that I'm ready to like go and flesh out and make happen. I've got series ideas. Kiana and I are like really close, so Kiana was sharing with me that she's got ideas for projects as well. So we're gonna kind of work together to start producing our next project, and hopefully before the end of the year, at least have at least two, if not three more projects that we've, you know, completely written and produced. So making more work.
Any features planned? I think that's when the real test
I think that is the real test. We do have an idea on the table for a feature. I won't share it because it's not my idea. But with that in mind, I am like, you know, wow, this is going to be a lot more than just a less than 20-minute short. It's going to be a lot more moving pieces, a lot more locations, a lot more people, a lot more things to consider, a lot more money. So thinking about all those things kind of makes me nervous, but I'm not backing down anymore.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I used to be nervous about all these things, so what? Let's do them. Like, you can't fail if you don't try. You can't win if you don't try. Either way, you got to do it. So, like, I won't know if I'm going to be good at it until I make an attempt at it, and, like,
constantly.
I got to keep doing it. Yeah, consistently.
You never know if you're going to be good at it unless you keep being consistent, because you could be 1 for 1, or you could be 1 for 10.
Absolutely, and you just never really is that?
No, I'm just saying.
My laughing probably threw it off.
I wasn't.
Yeah, a little bit, because I was like, wait a minute.
It was the wrong space
I'm
for
just
me
saying,
to laugh at.
if the possibilities right now, you're 1 for 1. You're shooting 100% from the 3-point line.
Absolutely.
Spielberg ain't even got that. That's pretty good.
You could do it 9 more times though, and you know.
And I mean, everything doesn't have to be like, you know, a winner. It just has to be done. Like, the bottom line is, I want to tell the stories. You know, every story everybody can't relate to. So it's like, if you can't relate to the story, it might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that come on TV that are like hits. Everybody loves it. And I'm just like, that's not a story that I lean into. But I lean into the art that brings me joy, the art that's like fulfilling to me and my spirit and my soul. So that's like where I'm at right now. But when I was just wanting to watch, you know, funny things for entertainment or whatever, then there was like tons of things to do that for. But like when I wanted to like get into like real life topics, like you talked about something that was very important to me in social mental health. Like, people don't do that often, you know, and people don't talk about social anxiety often, and that's a thing. So it's like, you watch all these shows where they could, you know, allow a character to have these things, but that makes the character appear weak, and we have this like unrealistic perception in society that everybody's got to be strong and everybody's got to be like think about all the main characters. They don't really show a whole lot of weakness.
Vulnerability, yeah.
A lot of vulnerability in them, especially not in that space. So something like that is important to me. So I think more films where we're like
check that out on Peacock or TUBI Social.
Yes.
It's out there.
Yeah,
check that in. Yeah, please. And also, me and Shani will be doing a movie together. I know I haven't talked to you about it in forever, but it is still, I plan on happening. What'd you say?
I said it's still in the works.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if you were backing out of it, but all right.
What's that about?
It would have been weird. So that is going to... No, put it back in drive.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Come on back. There we go. That is going to be a dating movie, just talking about dating in Atlanta, but I plan on touching... kind of like how y'all did in y'all film, like about like social injustice is... I guess it's not as a serious topic, but it's going to touch on like so many different perspectives in dating with these two characters. And we just kind of got sidetracked for money reasons. But, once we get the money,
hey, it happens.
We'll be there.
This is the way you need to know. $15,000 budget over here. Goodness gracious.
I'm not doing this with you.
That's great. That's good. I'm
impressed. About
driving, right?
I am impressed. A $15,000 budget for a 20-minute short.
That's because
every day.
That's because when you start like breaking down how much each of these things can actually cost, and we had a SAG project, like there's a minimum we have to pay these people.
I'm half joking,
like if we pay them and then pay for these locations, we're gonna be in trouble. Like we gotta figure out how we're gonna do this.
Independent me, our project won't be SAG. It'll be independent.
And that is fine.
Long, baby, non-union. shit like that makes me. It's like I wouldn't do SAG until I had such proper things in place because,
look at all you've done so far. Like it's not. You wouldn't even have to secure half the funding. Like you have a nice portfolio to approach investors and say, "Hey, this is what I've done. These are the numbers. Invest in my next one."
Sure, but it's still making it SAG.
Well, yeah, but like you can make it SAG with their money. That's what I'm saying. Like if you get investors to invest in what you're working on.
I guess not even looking at it just the money. It's the work behind it. Like the work paperwork. And making it. I'm not a paperwork guy.
Well, then you
ain't no paperwork guy.
Then you get the paperwork guy. You bring the paperwork guy in, and they do the paperwork.
Hey, but if you two sound like a match made in heaven, like y'all should put something together. You sound like a paperwork kind of woman.
That's what I'm saying. I'll do the paperwork. You do the film.
If you are willing to do the paperwork, then I would have no problem doing it. But Miles would not be doing the paperwork.
Miles doesn't have to do the paperwork. Somebody else can do the paperwork.
Hey, as long as somebody's willing, because I've looked it up. Like it's two projects that we were going to do as SAG, and first time I looked it up, I was like, oh, yeah, I ain't fucking doing this. Second time, I was like, okay, no, come on, man, make it a SAG. I'm
not gonna lie to you. If it was up to me, I'm very much the person like that stands at the edge of the cliff and is like, nah, I'm not gonna jump. I'm not gonna do it. While everybody else is cliff diving and having a good time, and I'm watching them down at the bottom, like, I don't know if I could do it. But I stood at the edge of that cliff when we didn't get to get the paperwork done, and I was like, you know what, guys, we're right. You're right. Let's do it. Because why not? All we gotta do is fill it out and get the response.
Yeah. Well.
Don't give up on you.
Best of.
That's another let that sink in moment.
Man. Okay.
Put a rainbow there.
So we're done with At All Costs.
Yeah.
Are we submitting to festivals?
Absolutely. We've submitted to our first festival, which is the American Black Film Festival. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys love us or not, or if
I hope y'all get into that.
Reviewed it yet, but I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this train. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I hope we get in there. And then there's a bunch of other ones that we've been looking at.
Do you have some like on top of your head, like Bronze Lens?
Bronze Lens, South by Southwest has one. Tribeca has one. We found a bunch of other ones that were on Film Freeway that we thought would be appropriate considering the subject matter that I can't think of off the top of my head, but we made a list. But the film festival circuit is like the primary thing for this project. And then once we finish with that, giving that a run, we've got a couple other ideas of how to get it out to people. We want to do a college tour, take it and have like conversations with college students,
pretty cool.
Real time. And then we want to, do a couple more screenings so that we can get it seen and have some more talkbacks. Because, all of that kind of keeps you fueled and kind of gives you more inspiration because the bottom line is most art is fueled or inspired by humanity.
Absolutely. So with the film festival selections, like first time I endeavored into that was 2016.
And what happened?
Well,
Yeah, what happened? Goodness, now I want to know.
Well, I wasn't going. Well, what do you mean? What happened?
I remember good things happening. That's why I said what happened when you entered the festival. That's why I'm getting excited.
You didn't know me in 2016.
Okay, maybe not 2016, but like you've been in the film festival circuit. What happened when you were in there? That's what I'm saying.
I'm assuming you wanted to hear the good shit. Yeah, I was going bad, but
Yeah,
okay, we can skip.
I'll be honest with you.
Okay,
I
well,
wanted
give
to
us
hear
both now, because I want to hear the good stuff. I'm not gonna be the everything needs to be peaches and roses, but like, come on.
Okay, the bad, Mr. Negative over there.
Thank you. Please give me the good first. Yeah.
First, I didn't know how much film fucking festivals
The
cost.
submission cost.
Is that part of the budget when you do a budget? Is that part of?
Absolutely, we put it in
Never been
ours.
a part of mine.
We put it in ours because I was like, when we looked up a lot of festivals, some of them are like, $50, $75, and some of them
That's
are
a
like
lot.
$250, and then some of them are like, yes,
just to submit,
just to submit, and not
press
even know
the
whether or not
button.
you're gonna get selected. That doesn't guarantee you a spot in the festival. That just guarantees that your film will be viewed by the judges.
Viewed.
Yeah.
By
Bro,
the
when I
judges.
say like
Not the quotes.
this,
Yeah.
the,
Do you
for
think they're
real.
not watching them?
I don't.
But some
I'll be
are
collecting my
definitely fucking
$250.
not. Yeah.
Let's make a film festival.
I suggest a lot of people do their research on. When I first started, I didn't do my research on film festivals and whatnot. And I suggest a lot of people, you need to really do so much research when it comes to actually selecting which film festivals that you're going to submit
Absolutely.
to. So the first time I submitted it to like 45 festivals. We got
What?
Hey, you rich?
and
Yeah.
Hey,
I was about to say.
your lift money doing good for you over there. Look at you scared to
You
put the
don't want
light
to put the
on.
light
Come
in
on,
there? Boy, if they was paying for 45 festivals, you owe it to them to put that light in the doggone dashboard.
This is 2016. I had a job, a 9-to-5, corporate. Okay,
Never mind.
All right.
Damn. And I was still cheap, so I was submitting to free festivals. I was submitting to a bunch of $5, $10. You know what I'm saying? Festivals that really didn't mean shit, or really, you know what I'm saying, couldn't do nothing for your career. But even with that, I only got into 2. So
Hey.
What's the percentage rate? Let's do the math.
How you?
That's not bad, though. I feel like, let's see,
you
45.
are super positive, and you know what? We need that around here. However,
45.
I'm gonna bring this back
How
to
do you do the
reality.
math on that? I'm trying to see what the
2
percentage.
divided by 45.
Yeah, okay. So.
Dang.
By 45? Yes.
Man, that movie had to be trash.
We will talk about the figures. We will not talk about the figures.
I was trying to stop you.
Was
but
that
you
2 zeros in front of the?
persistent on embarrassing this man too. I'm
sorry.
Was there something on the screen?
He did not do bad.
Yo.
He damn sure didn't do good.
The
Like,
point
I
is,
mean-
I was submitting that film
Didn't
to
do great.
festivals that I shouldn't have submitted to, because there was no way that film would have gotten into it if I knew that. Like, this was my second film that I ever did, and it wasn't, quality wise, it wasn't a film that should have. Like, the first one I submitted to was the LA Film Fest. That's a very big fucking festival.
I'm scared.
And that film that I submitted, they probably laughed just like you did when they saw it. Because I wasn't doing my research. I didn't know shit about festivals. But after that, and throughout the years of making more films and submitting, finally when we get to 2021, I had the best festival run that I've ever had. I think I submitted to maybe 22 festivals. We got into 13 of them.
And that was with social.
Right. And it's because, for one, it was a film made to be submitted to festivals because of the subject matter and whatnot, and the type of festivals that I submitted to. Once again, from all the trial and error that I had, I submitted to the best chance film festivals, and also film festivals that could help the film. Like, film festivals that give prizes, film festivals that, give distribution, film festivals that give the filmmakers a light. A lot of film festivals out here are show up, watch the film, and then leave. But the best film festivals are ones that when you can get prizes, and one that gives the filmmakers like a lot of light. So ABFF is one of the most popular black film festivals because it does all of those things. Like, y'all submitted for the short film competition, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Right. So you get that prize money, and you'll be down there with a bunch of named people in the business that will have a great networking opportunity. So that's one of the best ones too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a self-proclaimed nerd, so that's like something that I was thinking about. Like even when we were entering the grants, like there was a grant that we entered for or applied for. Let me say that right. We applied for, and I went back and looked at it after, and I was like, we kind of set ourselves up here. They're not looking for our type of work. So it's very important that you do that before, so that you can kind of like gauge your failure. I don't want to say that you know for sure, because you don't.
Yeah.
You never really know for sure until you try it. But I think that if you know that they're looking for a certain type of work, or if it's let's just say it's a film festival centered around women, you might want to submit a project that's like the cast is like at least 50%, if not more, women, or that might have been like DP'd by a woman, or like things like that to include, because those are like factors that they're going to be like, oh, well, this project has like, it's marking off all these boxes. So you make a very good point there.
A lot higher. But that's just something, I mean, we were talking about it before. People just don't do their research on things. Especially, I've had so many conversations about the film festival market with people, and that's the big thing. Like, oh, which film festivals I submit to? Well, first off, whatever type of film you have, you need to look at that, and then you need to do your research on the niches. And Film Freeway is such a good site where you can do so many filters, where you can look at the types of, you can type in regions and cities, and you know what I'm saying, where do you want to go, what type of film festivals do they have in those cities and whatnot. The information is there. It's just people just don't do the fucking research. So I wish y'all the best of luck when it comes to y'all film festival circuit.
Arms wide receiving all of it.
Y'all should do, in my opinion, y'all should do very, very well. But go ahead, you want to, okay. I'm sorry. Huh?
I was just seeing time. It was 36.
Oh, okay.
You told me it was 30 minutes.
Yes. We'll talk about it after. She be so shy with it.
She just wants to make sure you
I don't
know.
want to interrupt.
You good, girl? You part of the audience. Come on now.
The live studio audience.
I forgot what I was saying, but okay. Anything else there, Marcel?
I am just
voting for Trump.
In that jacket only. Only when he wears that jacket.
So these future projects you got going on, girl, that's what's up.
Yes.
So like, all three y'all gonna stay a team, or because I mean you touched on it briefly a little bit before, but like you just screw y'all, I'm doing me, or is it y'all gonna stay a team?
No, wait, that's not me. No, I think we definitely haven't like reconvened since we've like entered into our first festival, so we'll be doing that soon, just to kind of see what we want to do moving forward. I am very flexible as a person, so whether or not we continue all together, or if I have to continue by myself, whatever I have to do, I think that I'm in such a positive mindset, and I feel so.
Miles is here too.
Thanks, Miles.
Always in your corner.
Thanks, Miles. But I feel so empowered, so whatever happens. But I'm a positive thinker, so I feel like right now, Carpool Productions is just getting started, and we've got a lot more to do. We got a lot more rides to do, and I'm along for the ride.
Do you think your hard work has done it for you, or your positive attitude?
My positive attitude. I'm a hard worker, but sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes that's not even really like
some
valued.
People would say the opposite. I
would say that, but like I think that I've done a lot of hard work in a lot of different spaces. I think my first job I was 13, so I've worked, all these years, and like all that stuff just builds up to burnout if you don't have a positive attitude about what you're doing. So you want to love what you're doing, otherwise it feels like work. Because what's the whole saying about like you want to do something that doesn't feel like work? I don't know about that in its entirety, but I feel like you don't want it to feel like it's like draining. You want it to be something that's fulfilling, and I feel like creating is something that's fulfilling to me, so I want to continue. I have the desire to continue, and I think that comes from my positive attitude, less about the hard work. Because sometimes, I mean, who realistically wants to work? Like, who wakes up in the morning and they're like, oh, I cannot wait to get to work? Who does that, realistically?
Very few. Let's just go with
I'm just getting ready to say, I don't know too many people jumping up and down to work.
Some people do, but few people.
All right. You good?
I'm Gooch.
All right, my man. This was Shawnee, Miss DeShon Green. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Shawnee_Poo. Yeah, like the bear. Probably never gonna change that, so that's who I am.
Where'd you come up with that?
Never thought about that.
So I can't even really touch back on like the exact origin of who said it, but someone called me it, and then it became my Instagram name, and then now like that's how everyone knows me. Like in the Atlanta area, as far as like art and stuff is concerned, no one really calls me DeShon. Everybody calls me Shawnee. So like DeShon is my name, but I'm often referred to as Shawnee. So that's
Never knew your name was DeShon.
Really?
Well, probably not for like a year after we met.
That's fair, but I think that's because we probably met with me being Shawnee.
Yeah.
More than likely.
When were you not Shawnee?
There was a time. You don't need to get into that.
Nah,
that's not what this episode's about.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
This is chemistry. This is chemistry. I go by the name of Miles. That is
Marcel
the
Williams.
Republican. This is Shawnee. We will catch you next time in the lab.
Is that supposed to dance?
Come on, baby.